we're going to be looking at backing up and restoring Triumph. I'm currently running version 6.1. We're going to look at backing up within Triumph, otherwise known as a transfer out. This is a really quick and easy way to do a backup. Very useful if you're about to do something with the company, such as do a reindex or something that you really want to make sure you've got a backup before you start playing around. We're then going to go into how to restore that backup, or the transfer as we call it within Triumph. And then the other way of restoring a backup is from a Windows backup. So that's usually one that your IT guy has done, and you might turn around and say, oh, can you give me a backup from yesterday at whatever hour? And then they'll usually drop it into a folder somewhere. So we're going to go through how to restore that one as well. So first thing I'm going to do is go into Triumph. So here we go. And I'm just going to go into my multi-location demonstration company. I'm going to log in. If you've got anything like web services, I don't know if you're running a web app, whether that's a B2B or just your account so that your customers can access it online, you're going to have to go close that as well or just stop it. So I'm just going to go into here and I'm going to stop that service. So you can see that everything's stopped now, so that's not interfering with anything. Okay, next thing to know is that we really want to be the only one in the company doing this. It's a single user thing, makes sense. You can't be doing backups while people are still processing. So we're going to go into system maintenance, and then we're going to go to database management, transfer company, and transfer company out. Okay, I'm just going to go next there, and it's really asking us here which company do we want to transfer out. So we're going to transfer out this multi-location demo. Okay, on this screen it's asking us where are we going to transfer it out to. I usually keep them within a folder called transfers within my Triumph directory. And you can see there it's going to put a date stamp and a time stamp, and it's also going to tell us the company that it's backing up. So if you do have more than one company, then we can do that. Password protect, I would keep that on. That is really so, it's just your serial number, and if we have to send a backup to Triumph, it helps them know whose data they're actually looking at before they start opening it. Down here we can put in a comment, and I'm just going to put a comment in of example transfer out. You can put something more meaningful on there. You may be doing a backup before you put a new build on, something like that. Okay, click on next and it's going to bring us to a confirmation screen. So if you just want to quickly run down that, it's really confirming that this is a company, this is where it's going to back it up to, and these are the comments and the password we're putting on. So I just need to click there and we're going to process. Now my company on here is very small. If you've got lots and lots of files and you've been going a long time, it will take a lot longer than that, especially if you're running sales analysis, because sales analysis files are really big and they take quite a long time to back up. Okay, so I'm just going to finish that. And that's it, really. What I will do is I'm just going to go into my Windows Explorer here. And if I go to my C drive, and then onto apps, and into my Triumph, and then I've got transfers, and then you can see here at the bottom of the list we've got a transfer out that we've done today at about 1:15. So next thing we're going to have a quick look at is how to then restore that. So first of all, I can just overwrite my existing company, or I can restore it to a new folder. So what we're going to do is, I'm feeling brave today, so I'm going to pretend that I did a build and something went wrong with it, so I'm actually going to restore it into my live company. So, opposite way of what we did before, so we got system maintenance, database management, transfer company, and this time we do a transfer company in. And it's asking me where's my archive file, so where's my transfer file, and it's in my transfers folder, and it's this one here at the bottom. Then it's going to go check, and it's basically making sure that you're looking for the information to make sure it's on the same build, and it's also got a little comment down here. If we can just find it, we've got all the information there. And what I was looking for here was the comment, so I actually know that it's a correct one because it said example transfer out. Okay, so we can restore it to an existing folder or create a new folder. I'm going to restore to an existing folder because I'm feeling brave, but we could actually create a new folder. As a matter of fact, let's do that. We'll restore it to a folder called dat2, and then I'm going to click next, and then I'm going to click process. And you can see that it's bringing the data in, and then it's actually rebuilding all of the indexes. Again, depending on the size of your data, you know, there's quite a few customers where this will take 10-15 minutes. Especially, as I say, if you've got sales analysis files in there, they tend to be pretty big, and therefore this re-indexing could take a little bit longer. I'm reasonably surprised how long this does actually take, given the fact that I've only got a little database. So we'll just wait for that to run through. Nearly there. As I say, it's sorting through, just creating the indexes, checking that they're all there. Okay, and then it's just doing effectively a quick validation on that company. And we can see that it's got to the bottom of the list there, and it has done a transfer in. If I just go to my company list here, then you can see that it's this one here. What I'd recommend you do then is, if it is something that you've created as a play company or a test company, what we can do then is go into here and just double check before you go into this next screen that you're in single user mode. So click access there, and you can see we've gone to a single icon there at the bottom, and system control maintenance, and we'll rename it, say it's my test company. If this isn't actually a live company that you're restoring and it is a test company, I'd also recommend that you go change the colours on the background, and that's really so that if one of your staff goes into this company and thinks they're in the live company, then hopefully it's reasonably obvious to them that that they're not in there. So you saw me go into system maintenance utilities style, and then we're into the final S, and all I'm going to do here, I'm going to do company background, and I'm going to change that to a colour that is pretty vile, unless you're really into that colour of pink. Then I can click OK. It's going to log me off, so I'm just going to log back in there again. And hopefully you'll see that we've got an absolutely disgusting colour. So the final type of restore we're going to look at is if we've asked our IT person to restore the data. And in this case, they're more than likely to have restored the file and just put it in here. So here we've got one that the IT person's done, and it says dat 15 February 19, and we actually want to restore that, and we're going to restore that into a play company. So if we just go back into Triumph, we obviously don't have a company there at the moment, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a company here. So I'll just go back there a second. We're in system maintenance, database management, and add a company. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to either use my arrow cursor to go down, or I can just use my mouse, and I'm going to call this test company. And I'm just going to type in test here. And we're just going to save that line. As I say, I could just press F2 to do that. And then I'm going to close. Okay, so that's created a folder for us, but there's actually nothing in there, so I'm not going to bother going in there. So I'm just going to cancel that and come back out of Triumph. And all we've got to do now really is that, if you remember, let me just show you that we called our folder test. You can see here down here it says folder test. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to rename this folder to be test. Okay, having done that, I'm just going to open up Triumph again. And there we go, a test company. As I say, if you do have a different name at the top there, then make sure that you do change this. Usually put ZZ in the front of it, that way it goes to the bottom of the list. And if you want, just pop in there and make sure there actually is some data there and it is what you were expecting. Okay, so that's nice and simple. Just one more thing before I end this is that you remember earlier on we turned web services off. If you actually did that and you were pulling it back into a live company, just make sure you go back into your web services and you start the service. Okay, that's it. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions on this video or you'd like to arrange a demo of Triumph, these are my contact details.